The first official teaser trailer for The Mandalorian and Grogu is finally here, and it gives us our very first glimpse of what Star Wars is going to look like on a big screen again. This isn't just another streaming story, it's the beginning of a brand new era, and the footage hints at way more than just a simple adventure. In this video, we're going to break down every scene from Din flying the Razor Crest again to a few surprise returns, and I'll share my thoughts on the bigger threat that this trailer's hiding. So strap in, because there's more here than quick nods and cool shots. There are some major stakes at play, and the clues point to a galaxy-wide conflict that's already brewing in the shadows.
Impressive.
If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, hit the hype button, and subscribe to the channel for our coverage leading up to the movie's release. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into the trailer. Alright, so the trailer kicks off with Din and Grogu flying in a newly acquired Razor Crest over what looks to be Adelphi Base. Now, you remember Din lost his original ship back in Season 2 when the Imperial remnants blew it to pieces. And the only thing that survived was his Beskar spear, which ended up being melted down into Grogu's chainmail. This new version even has some yellow paint on it, which I feel is a subtle nod to his N1 starfighter. And yeah, for me it immediately raises the question, how much time has actually passed since Season 3? Because these changes don't happen overnight, and there's a few things that happen later on that suggest a pretty decent time jump. Anyways, from there we see Din head into Adelphi Base. If you remember, he's now working for the New Republic, taking on jobs as needed.
On a case-by-case basis.
We get a shot of him and Grogu scoping out what looks to be an Imperial stronghold, and straight away you notice Grogu's presence. He's not just tagging along anymore. He's part of the mission, actively contributing in a way that really started all the way back in Season 3. And it looks like that thread's being carried forward here. We then cut to the Drains, where an Enzellan, the same species as Babu Frick from Episode 9 of Rise of Skywalker, guides Grogu through the tunnels. It's a small detail, but it shows how much Grogu's role in these missions is evolving. He's no longer relying on Din every step of the way. And really, that growth's a big deal, because it hints at the direction their partnership is heading. And we then see Din meet Sigourney Weaver's character, Colonel Ward, who's the leader of the Adelphi Rangers and a veteran of the Rebel Alliance. And this setup here feels very reminiscent to Season 1, where Grief Karga was the one handing out bounty pucks, and here is Colonel Ward doing the same thing, just with Republic missions. It's a clever way to show his evolution as well, from bounty hunter to someone the New Republic trusts enough to give official work. And yeah, it makes you wonder a bit, how long can Din really continue to walk this line? Is he just a hired gun for the Republic, or is he being drawn into something much bigger than he realizes? Now, the next stretch of the trailer takes us into a slightly darker setting, with Din walking through a puddle at night. In the reflection, you can spot the bright lights of the city. And for me, it really has the look of Coruscant from The Mandalorian Season 3, which makes sense if Din's digging for intel in the heart of the galaxy. We then see him in a diner scuffle, clearly not getting the answers he's looking for, and Grogu leaps onto his back mid-fight. It's a very small moment, but it perfectly shows how their teamwork has evolved. Grogu's not just along for the ride anymore, they're in the thick of it, and they're more of a team than ever. And yeah, we also get the return of a species that's been missing from Star Wars for a long time. The Amanin? Anyways, a snake-like creature, very primitive and considered dangerous. Our first glimpse of one actually came back in Return of the Jedi, piling up inside Jabba's palace.
Are you alright? Fine.
Seeing them show up here hints at how deep they're pulling from Star Wars history for this movie, and it makes you wonder, what else are they hiding that we haven't seen yet? Anyways, from there, the action ramps up fast, and Din and Grogu fire up the Razor Crest and head into a dogfight against what appears to be TIE fighters. This sequence, I think, could be one of the standout scenes in the film already, and then we cut to Grogu swimming underwater, something we've never actually seen before. And I have to say, what they've been doing with Grogu, not just in this trailer, but over the course of the last 3 seasons, is nothing short of amazing. George Lucas wanted something very similar with Yoda back in the original trilogy, but the technology wasn't there. That's why we got a CGI Yoda in the prequels. Anyways, Grogu's finally getting that level of expression now in live action. We also catch a glimpse of Zeb Orrelios back in action, mowing down stormtroopers in a hallway, before Grogu turns up with the Anzellans again on what could actually be Navarro, and then that's all capped off with Din flying up to a New Republic U-Wing, followed by a surprise crowd sequence where Rotta the Hutt, Jabba's son, is cheered on by spectators. To see Rotta, who debuted as a baby all the way back in the Clone Wars movie, now grown up and standing in front of Din and Grogu, really signifies just how much time has gone for the lifelong Star Wars fans, and how the story is pulling old threads into this new era.
He's a lot younger than I thought.
And the question is, why Rotta? Why now? Because his presence feels much bigger than just a random cameo. Now, so far the trailer feels like a fun adventure, lots of action, plenty of Grogu moments, but not so much in the way of a clear antagonist, and that's where the rumors start to come in. Before the trailer even dropped, we heard rumors about Rotta the Hutt being involved. And even more intriguing, the possible live-action debut of Embo, one of the most dangerous bounty hunters from the Clone Wars.
Unpiquer, puis séparer.
Now, word on the street is Embo's mission in this film is to take out Rotta, which would put Din and Grogu right in the middle of protecting Jabba's son. If that's true, it completely reframes Rotta's appearance in the trailer. He's not just there for nostalgia, he's actually a target. And that makes him the linchpin for the entire story. And yet, to be honest, it makes you wonder, if Din is tasked with guarding Jabba's heir, what kind of heat is he about to bring down on himself and Grogu? Because here's the thing, just because this trailer doesn't showcase a big villain, doesn't mean there isn't one.
It sounds like a paranoid fantasy.
Luthen Rail died for this.
Star Wars absolutely loves to keep cards close to their chest, and I actually think the real danger here isn't just about Rotta's survival. The bigger story might be running underneath the surface, just waiting to reveal itself. Could Embo just be the first domino in a much larger chain reaction? Either way, the fact that we're even talking about Rotta and Embo being central to the movie shows that this isn't just a side quest. This could be the spark of something much bigger, and if that's the case, the real question becomes, when will they discover who's really pulling the strings behind it all? So yeah, the trailer then throws us into one of the biggest action beats yet, Din battling what looks to be a squad of droid bounty hunters. The whole vibe here instantly reminds me of something out of Jedi Fallen Order or Jedi Survivor, especially with the way the background resembles those Zepho tomb-style ruins. We can't say for sure what's going on in this shot, but the design suggests there's something ancient or hidden tied to this mission. And that begs the question, are Din and Grogu just here for a bounty, or are they stumbling into something far bigger than they realize? Now, one detail that really stood out is Din's rifle making a return. He lost it all the way back in Season 2. And now suddenly it's back in play. Some people have said it actually feels like they're undoing the progress they made in that season, especially now Din's back flying a Razor Crest too. But for me, it looks more like a reset with purpose. The real question isn't why these things are back, it's how Din gets them back, and what it means for the story when he does. If the Republic is actually supplying him, it could signal that he's being armed for a much larger fight than just monster hunts or escort jobs. Anyways, we also see another returning creature enter the mix, the Mantellian Savrip. Now, you might not recognize the name, but you've definitely seen them before, at least in hologram form. They're one of the Jarek chess pieces from A New Hope when Han warns that Wookiees rip arms out of sockets.
I suggest a new strategy, Artu. Let the Wookiee win.
And now we're actually seeing Din wrestle one in live action, and it looks to be happening in the same arena we glimpsed earlier with Rotta. this could be part of a trial to earn an audience with him. But what if Rotta isn't actually one of the contestants here at all? What if he's actually running the whole underground gladiator gig? That would totally flip his role in the story and make him a power player rather than just a pawn. Anyways, from there we cut to Din tearing through AT-ATs on a snowy planet. One explodes from the inside, the other topples straight off a cliff. Then, to balance out all that heavy action, we swing back underground where Grogu faces off against a sewer-dwelling Cyclops rat-like creature. He blinds it with some kind of green goo before bolting out of there. And it's another great reminder that Grogu's arc in this movie isn't about sitting on the sidelines anymore. He's actually fighting his way through danger. And what I love about these moments is how it makes you wonder, if Grogu's already stepping up like this now, how long is it going to be before he takes that leap from Mandalorian apprentice to Mandalorian hero? And yeah, alongside the trailer, we also got the official synopsis and a poster, and this is where things get really interesting. It confirms that, the Empire has fallen, which we all knew. And it also mentions that the warlords are scattered across the galaxy and that Din and his apprentice Grogu have been enlisted by the New Republic to defend everything the rebellion fought for. Now on the surface, yeah, this trailer looks like a fun Star Wars adventure with some new planets, new locations, creatures, a few callbacks, but the synopsis adds a much darker undertone. If the Shadow Council is still moving in secret, how long before Thrawn's return pulls all of these scattered remnants back together?
Thrawn's return will herald in the re-emergence of our military.
And that's the thing, the teaser might not exactly spell it out, but we're not just dealing with another one-off mission here, we're watching a quiet build-up to the next galactic war. Could it be that what seems like a simple bounty or protection job for Din and Grogu actually plants the seeds for a much larger conflict? That would make this movie not so much just an introduction of these characters to the big screen, but also the story that ties it all together. The one question that keeps coming up is Grogu himself. He's been the child now for years, and fans are starting to wonder, when are we actually gonna see this kid age up? Now I actually think we're gonna hear his first word come the end of the movie, and when it happens, it's gonna mean a hell of a lot to the overall story. Imagine the emotional weight of Grogu finally speaking, not just for Din, but for audiences who have been on this journey since day one.
Perhaps it could live many centuries.
So is this film really just an adventure with strange creatures and hidden arenas? Or is this the story that bridges us from the Mandalorian's journey to the full-scale war brewing between the New Republic and the Imperial Remnant? And when Grogu finally speaks, what if that moment ends up being an emotional heartbeat that carries this saga into the next chapter? Anyways, I have to say I'm pretty excited by what we've seen so far. As far as Star Wars trailers go, it's not the best one, but it's absolutely not the worst either. And bearing in mind, this is just a teaser, it's not the full-on trailer yet. You can tell there's plenty of bigger, cooler footage locked away that they're saving for that big trailer release and of course for the theater itself. If you've seen some of the Celebration or D23 footage, you'll know they're holding back some really big moments. And what I'll do is I'll link my breakdowns to that at the end if you want to catch up on them. But to be fair, even without those, it feels like Star Wars is finally heading back to where it belongs, on the big screen. And there's something appealing about seeing Din and Grogu in IMAX with all the scale, spectacle, and emotional weight that comes with it. And it makes me wonder, if this is only the beginning, then how big can things get before the whole New Republic, Imperial Remnant storyline comes into play? So yeah, what are your first impressions of the movie so far? And as always, drop your thoughts, theories, and wildest speculations down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, hit the hype button, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next one, and may the Force be with you.